ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਰੇਡੀਓ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਤੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਵਰਡਸ ਦੀ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵਰਡਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡੀ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਸਟਰੋਂਗ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਚਾਹੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਆਇਲਸ ਦੀ, PTE ਦੀ, ਟੋਫਲ ਦੀ, ISLPR ਦੀ, ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਰੋਜ਼ਮਰਾ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਸਕਿੱਲਸ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ। ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵਰਡਸ ਨੂੰ ਐਡ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡੀ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਐਨਹੈਂਸ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਲੈਟਸ ਬਿਗਿਨ। ਆਓ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸੋ ਕੁਝ ਵਰਡਸ ਹੈ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਇੰਪਲਾਈ, ਇੰਪਲਾਈ, IMPLY, ਇੰਪਲਾਈ। ਇੰਪਲਾਈ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਟੂ ਸਿਗਨੀਫਾਈ। ਇੰਪਲਾਈ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਟੂ ਸਿਗਨੀਫਾਈ। ਫਿਰ ਇਨਐਵੀਟੇਬਲ, INEVITABLE, inevitable, unavoidable। inevitable ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ unavoidable। imply, to signify, inevitable, unavoidable, infinite, 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 measureless। Infinite means measureless, MEASURELESS, measureless। Then complement, complement, complement means to make complete, complement means to make complete। Then inborn, 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 inborn means implanted by nature, by birth। Inborn, 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 inborn means implanted by nature। So first word see, imply, imply means to signify। Then inevitable, inevitable means unavoidable। Infinite, measureless। Then complement, complement to make complete। Inborn, implanted by nature, inborn, implanted by nature। Then we have got the words tentative, 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 done as an experiment। Tentative means done as an experiment। Supersede, 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 supersede means to displace, supersede means to displace। Let's do it again. Supersede, to displace। Tentative, done as an experiment। Inborn, implanted by nature। Complement, to make complete। Inborn, implanted by nature। Infinite, measureless। Inevitable, unavoidable। Imply, to signify। Hazard or hazard, risk। Hostility, 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 this means enmity। We must know this. Hostility means enmity, dushmani। Hostility, enmity। Hostility is enmity। Hazard is equal to risk। Supersede is equal to displace, to displace। Tentative is done as an experiment। Complement, to make complete। Inborn, implanted by nature। Infinite, measureless। Inevitable, unavoidable। Imply, to signify. So these are some of the most important words that we have talked in this segment, which are important for building our English skills for the competitive exams and also for our day-to-day English speaking needs. Let's add a bunch of words to it. Pertinent. This is one of the most important words. Pertinent. Pertinent is relevant. Pertinent is relevant. Pertinent. Pertinent, relevant. Mutilate. 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 Mutilate is to disfigure. Laudable. 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 Laudable means praiseworthy. Laudable means praiseworthy. 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 Laudable means praiseworthy. Then, judicious. 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 Judicious means prudent. Prudent. Prudent means wise. Judicious, prudent means wise. There's another word for this, sagacious. 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 Erroneous. Erroneous. Erroneous means incorrect. Erroneous. Erroneous means incorrect. Then, assimilate. 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 Assimilate means to adapt. Assimilate. Assimilate. Assimilate means to adapt. Then, demolish. 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 To annihilate. To annihilate. Annihilate. Demolish means knock down, destroy something. So that is to annihilate. So you've got demolish, annihilate, and knock down. So before we do the revision and proceed towards another aspect, I would like to mention that there are so many people who are contacting us for the classes. For them, I'm telling that we are enrolling from 26th of January for the February batches for PTE, IELTS, and online writing feedback for ISLPR. So stay tuned. Go to the website www.singielts.com. Download the form of IELTS and PTE. Please fill them up and send to us because we have got limited seats. So our classes for February are open. You can start enrolling from 26th of January and then you can become part of the classes. Or text message on 042 55 40030. We don't take walk-in appointments. So please send us a text message on this number or email us at info@singielts.com. There is no .au in that. So it's simple, singielts.com. All right. So visit that and fill up the form and send back to us. Let's come back and do a very quick revision of all the words. Demolish, to annihilate. Assimilate, to adapt. Erroneous, incorrect. Judicious, prudent. Laudable, praiseworthy. Mutilate, to disfigure. Pertinent, relevant. Supersede, to displace. Tentative, done as an experiment. complement to make complete, inborn, implanted by nature, infinite, measureless, inevitable, unavoidable, imply, to signify, hostility, enmity, hazard, risk. So these are some of the words that I wanted to discuss today. Now, let's talk about some expressions that are required in the writing module of all the exams, and as well as when we are communicating in a formal environment, we need these expressions. The most important is on the one hand or on the other hand. On the one hand, on the other hand. When we are writing this, we need to put a comma after it. On the other hand, comma. Or we can use the expression, the reason for this is. The reason for this is, comma. The reason for this is, comma. Or in most cases, comma. In most cases, comma. In many cases, comma. In most cases, comma. In many cases, comma. As regards. As regards. This is used as regards globalization. As regards the episode of increasing pollution. So, as regards can be used with any aspect. As regards. To summarize. To summarize, comma. The fact is that. The fact is that. To discuss the pros and cons. Pros and cons means advantages and disadvantages. I would suggest you guys to use this phrase together. Pros and cons. Don't use pros separately and cons separately. To discuss the pros and cons, let's give a quick revision. On the one hand, on the other hand, on the one hand, on the other hand. The reason for this is. The reason for this is. In most cases, in many cases. In most cases, in many cases. The fact is that. The fact is that. As regards. As regards. To discuss the pros and cons. To discuss the pros and cons. As a result. As a result. Consequently. Consequently. As a result. Consequently. On the contrary. On the contrary. On the contrary also means on the other hand. It is quite natural. It is quite natural. To a large extent. To a large extent. To illustrate this point. To illustrate this point. Therefore, because of. Therefore, then because of. Let's revise. Therefore, because of. To illustrate this point. Therefore, because of. To illustrate this point. It is quite natural. It is quite natural. To a large extent. To a large extent. On the contrary. On the contrary. Consequently. Consequently. As a result. The fact is that. As regards. To discuss the pros and cons. to outline the main points on the one hand, on the other hand. So these are some of the interesting expressions that we need to enhance our English skills. Whether we are talking about speaking module or writing module, we need to know some of these phrases, how to use them to make our results effective. And let me explain few of them in detail, like, for example, with the advancement of technology today, with the advancement of technology today, with the advancement of technology today. This is one of the phrases with which we can start our essay. Or we can use, in today's sophisticated world. In today's sophisticated world. Sophisticated here means complex world. Sophisticated also means gentle when it is used with person. But when it is used other than anything except the person, that is complex. In today's complex world, in today's sophisticated world, today with apostrophe S. Do remember, these are some of the most important phrases with which we can start the introduction. And they are short, high band score introductions. A much debated issue these days is weather. A much debated issue these days is weather. Not weather, not mosam, weather. Weather. Man is responsible for global warming. So this weather. A much debated issue these days is weather. A. With the advancement of technology today, or in today's sophisticated world, comma, or a much debated issue these days is weather. WHETHER, weather. So these are some of the important introductory phrases that are required. Let me add a set of adjectives that can make your writing, speaking very effective, and you'll be able to identify these phrases, these combination of words in listening and reading module as well. Like unforeseen. Unforeseen. Unforeseen means unexpected. Highly competent. Highly competent. Mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Non-conforming. Non-conforming. Fragile object. Self-motivated. Genuinely interested. Self-motivated. Fragile object. Genuinely interested. Mind-blowing. Non-conforming. Unforeseen. Highly competent. Now, do a revision of this till the next week, and next week we'll try to cover two of the essays that can be helpful for getting on to the examination with your required band score. So stay tuned, keep listening and supporting Radio Haanji, and I would be back with the program next Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. And do revise these words. They will definitely help you. And if you have any questions, you can contact us at info@singhielts.com. So see you next week. Bye.